Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope you're enjoying your happy Monday. I hope it's an enjoyable time for you. I hope you guys had a good weekend. And we're back at it today. So today we're going to focus on integers and we're going to focus on added and subtracted. And tomorrow we will focus on multiplying and dividing integers. Okay. So let's get started. So first off, integers are a set of numbers that include whole numbers, whether they're positive or negative. They're all integers. So from 0 to 100 to -1 to negative whatever, all those numbers are all integers. So I created a graph so just so you can see. So on the graph or the bar graph, so from 0 to 4 to 0 to -4. So all these numbers are all integers. Okay. So they're numbers, but I mean they're integers, but people don't just go. I'm like, oh hey, what's this integer? I mean, it's the same thing. All numbers are just integers. That's all that is. Okay. So if you're able to add negative numbers, then you will be able to subtract negative numbers. And that's why I say that by that, I'm going to go ahead and do an example of what I mean by that. And I know a lot of students struggle with integers. You can get the problem correct. You have the correct answer as far as the integer, but your sign is wrong. So it's just knowing how to work with um, the negative signs when it comes to the integers, which is not it's not as bad as you guys make it out to be sometimes. So let me write them out first. Okay. All right. So I used the same number. Let me rewrite this a little bit better just so you can see it clearer. All right. It's the same numbers four different ways. Okay. So for the first number, we just have 8 plus 2. And 8 plus 2 is 10. Just add those two numbers together. So that's an integer. It just doesn't have the negative or negative sign. Okay, so I'm gonna write 10. Let me turn it this way. Make it a little bit easier. Okay. Next we have -8 plus 2. -8 plus 2. So a key thing to point out with that is when you're adding numbers with the same sign, you keep the sign. Okay. But when you're adding numbers with a different sign, you have to go with the largest number, whatever sign the largest number is. And so for our second example, the largest number is with a negative sign is 8. So we know we're going to subtract. Okay? So anytime uh, one sign is positive and one sign is negative, you're going to always subtract. Okay? So I'm not going to worry about the sign right this second. But I'm gonna just go ahead and say like um, as if just 8 2 -8 plus 2, and what they give me, I know I'm going to subtract, so that's going to be 6. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the 6, but my sign had to match whatever the largest number is. And so since the large number is negative, I'm going to make this negative. Okay. So another way is -8 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus -8. You might see it that way, or you might just see it as 2 minus 8. But all are the same. It's the same exact answer. 2 plus -8 is still going to be -6. 2 minus 8 is still going to be -6. So I just showed you three different ways you might see it. I know a lot of times you guys see it these ways, like in parentheses, but they're in parentheses just so you know that it's a negative sign. Like it's not anything else. I think you guys get scared or detour away from it because you see a negative sign and you see it in parentheses. It's the exact same thing as these other ways over here. It's the same thing as 2 minus 8. It's nothing different. It's the exact same answer, okay? So don't get timid or scared when you see it looking like this, but it's the exact same way, okay? All right. So we have next. We have what for that one? I have both of those. Those two are the same thing. So um, let's make both negative for this one. Let's make both of those negative. So we have negative 8 plus negative 2. Okay? So, same sign. They both have the same sign. I have to look over here. They both have the same sign. So, whenever you're adding numbers with the same sign, you keep the sign. You keep the sign whenever you're adding numbers. Now, multiplying and dividing are two totally different things. But when you're adding numbers, today we're focusing on just adding and subtracting. So adding and so when you add adding numbers with the same sign, you're just gonna keep the sign. So 8 plus 2, 8 plus 2 is what? It's 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that. And so both signs are negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that sign over there. So my answer for that one is negative 10. Okay. So negative 8 minus 2. Negative is the exact same way. It's just the way it's wrote out is different. It's like tomato and tomato, you know. So it means you're going to get the exact same answer. So you might see it a couple different ways, but it's the exact same thing. Okay? All right, so let's go down to the next one. So we have, for the next, we have 8 plus negative 2. 8 plus negative 2. So when we have different opposite signs, that means subtraction is going to happen somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 minus 2. And 8 minus 2 is 6. So the larger number does not have a negative sign. So it's just going to stay positive. So it's just like you said, 8 minus 2. Okay? And 8 minus 2 is just 6. But because the sign is whatever, which if the larger number has a negative sign, then you have to change it. The sign, you have to change it. But if it's the lower number have the sign, then you just add or subtract it the way it is. Okay. Hopefully that's not too confusing for you guys. All right. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and work on some. I have about, how many do I have? Did I write? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have about 12 that we're going to work on, and they're both adding and subtracting. They're both adding and subtracting ones. Okay. Okay. So the first one we have is see what's still in there. Okay. 8 plus negative 5. 8 plus negative 5. So since we know that our larger number does not have a negative sign, so we're just going to go ahead and subtract it out. So it's like you saying 8 minus 5. Okay? It's like you saying 8 minus 5. 8 plus negative 5. Okay? And it's the same as 8 minus 5. So 8 minus 5 is what? 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 5, 3. So 8 plus negative 5 and 8 minus 5 are the exact same thing. Okay? So if you put it in a calculator, like saying 8 plus and then do negative 5, you see in the calculator it's going to give you positive 3. Because it's just like you said, 8 minus 5. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next one. Let me erase this. Let me write it a little bit bigger too. I'm not a big, I can't write really big. I have to really like try to write big. It's so uncomfortable for me to write big. I can't explain it. Okay. Alright, so next we have negative 7 plus negative 5. So both of these both have the same sign. So we know whenever they have the same sign when you're adding or subtracting, you're going to keep it. So I'm going to keep that sign because they both have that sign. So 7, -7 plus -5. I'm just adding those two together, and it's just like saying 7 plus 5. And 7 plus 5 is 12. So I know it's going to be -12. And you can put that in the calculator as well, just so you see. So it's just, so when they have the same sign, it's just like you saying this right here. 7 plus 5. Only thing is different is the sign. So having the sign wrong on a problem can miss it's just gonna, you can have the correct number, but if you don't have the correct sign, your whole problem is messed up. Okay? So you have to make sure that you pay very close attention to your signs and know the principle when it comes to the sign. Adding and subtracting, the principles of it. So that's why I'm not doing the adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing all together, because it's different principles with adding, subtracting, and different principles with multiplying and dividing. Okay? So we're just going to focus on the adding and subtracting ones today. Okay? So let's go to the next one. That was -7 plus -5. Writing big is just, I can't even write big, y'all. I hate writing big. Okay, so 1 plus 15. So neither one have a sign. So all we're going to do is add those two numbers together. So, and the answer is 16. Okay, so no sign, just add it all together. All right, let's go to the next integer. We have 10 plus -16. 10 plus -16. So we look, the larger number, what's the largest number? The largest number is 16, and 16 has a negative sign. So we know that whatever answer that we get is going to be negative because our largest number have a negative sign. So it's the same way as saying 10 minus 16 is the exact same way. Okay, and so 10 plus -16, whenever the signs are different like that, you're always subtracting. So whenever there's a different sign, so we have a positive here and a negative here, whenever there's a negative and a positive number, two different signs, you always subtracting something. Okay, so 10 plus -16 or 10 minus 16, same thing, it's the exact same thing, but it is -6. -6. All right, let's go to the next one. We have 17 plus 30. They have the same sign, which is no sign. So I'm just adding them all together. So 17 plus, I gave you guys the answer. That's 17 plus 13. So you guys should have the answer because I just erased it. 17 plus 13 is 30. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Alright. We have 3 plus -20. Alright. So this is our largest number. So we'll pay attention to that. Our largest number has a what? It has a negative sign. So what does that mean for our problem? Exactly. We're going to have a negative sign in our equation because, in our problem, because of this. Because our largest number is a negative, so our answer has to include a negative. And whenever you have two signs that are different, you're going to subtract. Okay? So 3 plus -20 is just like saying 3 minus 20. Okay? And 3 plus -20 is a -17. Negative 17. Let me erase this. Just I don't want to confuse you guys. I'm trying to make sure that you see the different ways they can be written, but I don't want to confuse you guys. So it'll be negative 17 because for the large number is negative. Okay? The next one is this one right here really like get you guys worked up. It really gets you guys worked up. The principle when you're dealing with two negative signs like this. So it's just it has the so it's just like this. It's That's basically what it is. So two negatives like that, set up like that, they have to cancel out. Negative and negative cancels out when it's like that. And when I mean cancel out, it becomes positive then. So now you're saying 6 plus 4. Six plus 4. And 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay? Don't worry, about to do some more like this because I know I've seen it time and time again. Students struggle with equations or problems looking just like that. Alright, so it's the same as okay, when it's set up like this and you have a subtraction sign and then you have another one in the parentheses and they're side by side like that, go ahead and cancel out. That's all you're gonna do. So negative and negative cancel out and make it positive. So it's just one big positive sign. Okay, so but you still have a negative sign over here, so you're still going to end up subtracting because two opposite problem have two opposite, the signs are opposite, you're going to always subtract. So 8, a positive 8 and a negative 4 is just like you saying 8 minus 4. If you flip these two numbers and you set it up like this, 8 minus 4. That's it. And 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay. So if you feel better when you get it to when you cancel it out, and you just don't like the way it's set up like this, negative 4 plus 8, you just don't. For some people, they just don't like to see it like that because it confuses them. Go ahead and switch it. Flip it the other way. It's going to give you the exact same answer. Once you cancel out, make sure that you cancel out first. Once you do that, then go ahead and flip it. If that feels more comfortable to you. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. That was okay. Now we at 19 minus negative 2. 19 minus negative 2. Now what are we going to do? Whenever we see subtraction sign, two signs like that side by side, two signs like that side by side, all we're going to do is cancel out. Alright, so 19 plus 2, 19 plus 2, or 2 plus 19, 2 plus 19 is 21. Two plus 19 or 19 plus 2 is 21. It's going to give you the exact same answer, just whichever way you like better. Whichever way you like to see it better, okay? Our next problem is 5 minus 14. Okay, so our larger number has the negative sign. So I'm going to go ahead and put negative over here because it's going to be negative because this is our largest number and it has a negative sign. Okay? So 5 minus 14 is 9. Okay? Our next one, that was 5 over 14. Our next one is alright. So they have the same exact sign. So when they have the same sign, you keep the sign. Okay, so since they have the same sign, I'm going to go ahead and put negative over here because they have the same sign. So it's just like you said now, 8 plus 12 because they have the exact same sign. So 8 plus 12 is going to be 20. Okay. That's our answer for that one. And our last one. This is our last one. Let's make it good. Alright. So we have... got a little bit too excited. Okay. So we have 11 minus negative 9. We should have the hang of this now. Two negative signs side by side like that. All we're going to do is cancel out. So now we're saying 11 plus 19. Plus 9, I'm sorry. 11 plus 9. And 11 plus 9 is 20. Okay? So I hope this is very helpful and beneficial to you guys. I hope that you were able to understand adding and subtracting integers a little bit better now. And like I said, tomorrow we're going to be multiplying, dividing integers. So I just wanted to break it down a little bit and not focus on doing it all together at the same time because it was just going to be confusing for you guys. So keep practicing those, going over those problems, keep practicing those. Repeat this video many times as you would like. If you have high school, some of this stuff will be in your high school as well as the tape, which a lot of you guys have the tape as well. So make sure you guys get this. All the negative sign could change your entire problem. So once you understand the principles and get it, then you will have no problem adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing these integers. Okay. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.